Well, hello there. On my YouTube channel, I'm often talking about the toughness in toys and how some toys are indestructible. Well, in this video, we're going to venture into something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you something which is as tough as some of these toys. So it's time to bust up the toy party and clear out the toys with my new broom. Time to show the toys who's boss. This video is all about my Dyson DC35 stick vacuum cleaner. Well, I'll explain to you why I purchased a DC35. Considering I already had the larger DC39 vacuum cleaner, this machine here had me asking a lot of questions about this company here. This machine is fantastic. The best parts about it, I feel, is this automatic head that knows when you're on a carpet or a hard surface. There's no touching of it, it just adjusts automatically. Just the whole way it connects together is also brilliant. I was a bit against it at first because it didn't key into other vacuum cleaners. I got a custom GoPro mount on some of my attachments because I suck up certain things, as you may know. But probably the best aspect to this vacuum cleaner is the way that it collects and manages the dust. It's not until you've got one of these machines, you go and do your first vacuum of the house, and the fine dust that thing picks up is scary, very, very scary. My Dyson DC39 is about 1.5 years old now. You can see it's got battle wounds all over it. It's been through a renovation in our house, so it's sucked up all sorts of nasties as well. Renovations tend to kill vacuum cleaners. You can see there's a fair bit of scraping that's gone on around the headpiece here. But I'll tell you what, the brilliance of that machine had me very, very curious about the smaller Dyson vacuum cleaner. And the first one I purchased was a DC35. Dyson products come at a price, but as I found out, they are well worth it. My Dyson DC39 there was around $750 in Australia. It's far less expensive overseas. My Dyson DC35 was just under $400. It's the best $400 I've ever spent in my life with that machine there. And what's very curious, I actually found a clone of that machine, and this clone machine was under $50. Can you believe that? And sure, in another video, I'll come in and examine this clone Dyson vacuum cleaner. It always catches my interest when I see a manufacturer come in and try and represent what is a very famous brand and their style. And I bet you that machine there will perform nothing like that one there. You know, it's funny, when I first purchased my Dyson DC35, I was very tempted to come in and do one of those unboxing videos that you see on YouTube, people pulling appliances out of boxes. But you know what? I wouldn't have much to say about it a year ago when I purchased this because I hadn't used the vacuum cleaner. I've had it for a year now, and I've got lots to say about the things I like and don't like about this cleaner. Well, I think it'd be very prudent for me to show you the receipt of purchase for my Dyson DC35. Here's the receipt from Target, like I'm always buying Thomas stuff, for $35. There's a DC35 for $398. That was like a Mother's Day special price at Target. Very interestingly, here's the Hot Wheels vehicle for 83 cents. Now that was the Shane Warne vehicle. That was the vehicle that went from being an $8 vehicle in Australia down to 83 cents. It made a fantastic consumer affairs video. And when I did the video about this incredible price drop in this Hot Wheels vehicle, it all had us re-evaluating exactly what limited edition means. The Dyson DC35 comes with an excellent instruction manual. Oops, haven't sent the warranty back yet. Naughty Leo, maybe because there's no stamp on it. But it takes you through all the things to look out for, how to charge this device. There are a couple of ways of charging this. I use the wall mount thing that we'll take a look at soon. But it's well laid out. It's very Lego-esque in a way. It's as easy as building a Lego set, but it's all in there if you want to look after your Dyson machine. And it's sort of funny, it's talking about washing this filter here. I've pulled it out and taken the dust out of it, but I've never done the wash with water yet. But I've got a funny feeling it hasn't hampered the way it performs. Well, enough of the book blah blah. Men tend not to read these sorts of books, although it's all pictures, isn't it? Silly old Leo. I better take the machine into the home and I'll show you how it gets used and abused. My DC35 lives in our laundry. It's up on its wall mounted bracket, which is also the charging station. It's very easy to take the machine in and out of this. Makes all the right sort of sounds, and it's also a nice easy way to change out the tools. I can do it single-handedly. I can put the large wand in because I'm going to go and clean the floor, and I can put the little brush at the back there, and I'm ready to go. Well, what I'll do is I'll come in and do the most common job this vacuum cleaner does in our house, noting that it's already crammed full of dirt, and also showing you up the other end that the brush is already crammed full of hair. It certainly needs a clean out. Well, my home is a mixture of wooden floors, which tend to have toys all over them, and there are a few carpets in the house as well. The carpets tend to pick up a lot of the dirt, which is picked up off the wooden floors, and the dirt tends to stay on these carpet sections. This piece of carpet here gets a daily work over by the Dyson DC35, which I can just do that too, because I know this machine is tough. I've dropped it a number of times. When I've been cleaning, I had a bad habit of like standing it up on its end and, you know, just letting it fall over. But hey, this thing is built like a tank, and I can do it once more because I'm completely brave in doing this. I know it's not going to bust. That's the toughness of this Dyson product. Whenever I'm vacuuming, I always tend to have it on max. There's a max button there which gives you maximum power, and I've found it's always been good to get a result in cleaning here. And I just go over my carpet here a bit. And even my wife loves this cleaner. I think it's one of the best things that I've ever purchased and brought into the house. It really has revolutionized the way we do the cleaning in the house. It is just a fantastic asset to have in the house, and it does such a good job of cleaning. In fact, it's almost as good as that other big Dyson that I've got, but let's keep that a very, very close guarded secret. And remembering, this Dyson is full, it needs to be emptied out, but it has no trouble in picking up any dirt that's around. That's the amazing aspect for these vacuum cleaners. They just keep on sucking and sucking and sucking. But I'll tell you what, I absolutely do love my Dyson vacuum cleaner. I'm starting to sound like an old vacuum cleaner salesperson now. Like I keep saying, I've got a bad habit of leaving them upright. Oh dear, I've just fallen over again. Thank goodness it's a Dyson. Another major job this cleaner has is getting underneath the sofa and getting all the muck that gets under there. Let's do a bit of sofa sweeping, oh yeah. Quite often a toy will appear when I'm doing this. Nice, you can get nice and low in there, look at that. Oh yeah. Men love to vacuum, did you know that? Well, I do. Here's the rear entryway to our house. You can see there's muck there. Let's give it a quick Dyson. Oh, and the muck disappears. Like magic, isn't it? Well, it's better than magic because it works every time. And remembering all the cleaning I've just been doing has been with this brush completely choked out. The motoriness is actually very strong. And even when it's all caught up with hair there, and it looks like my daughter's hair, it just doesn't stop. Let's change out this and put on another brush attachment, and we'll go and suck up. Oh, wait and see. In my home, I seem to have spiders everywhere. It seems on with this baby, and it sucks them right up. There's another one in the corner there. Bye-bye, spider. See you later. And there's another one. Bye-bye. Yoo-hoo! But I like to use that brush attachment to do this. Just run along the top of the skirting boards, and you'll be picking up all sorts of nasties. Around the entertainment area, you just get that dust that collects down the corner of things, over a DVD or so, around the TV. Oh yeah. Getting all the dust out of that old laptop, oh yeah. A lot of food in there, I betcha. And the other real ratty zone is around the sofa, you know, down the edges there. Although there is that other attachment I could have put on for this. This sofa's had it, as you can see, but I'll tell you what, the vacuum cleaner hasn't. Oh, the other dirty place is the area where those wardrobe doors track along. Just get the vacuum cleaner. Watch this, boys and girls. Oh yeah. I come along and I will pick up anything. Nothing stops for the Dyson. Yeah. And it loves to get into the corners like this where there's hair and spider webs. Bye-bye. We're all clean now. I can tell you this Dyson DC35 was not a cheap item, but it's one of the best small appliances that I've brought into the home. It's worth its weight in gold in my mind. It gets used every day. But what we might do now is we'll take it downstairs because it's full of dirt. I'll show you how to clean out this area here, and we'll also take a look at this brush area here, and I'll show you how to clean it out. And I've got a few other words to say about this product. While I'm down in the garage, my DC35 needs a clean out. The brush needs a clean as well. But before we get onto that, I'm going to show you the cleaner that I had in the home before my Dyson DC35. This is actually my mum's. I had one of these as well, but mine broke. And I'll show you where the weakness of this cheap upright vacuum cleaner is. The black upright cleaner there is an Aldi one. They are very inexpensive. The problem with these are, where mine broke, was this clip here. It's actually broken 2 spots. That clip there fails, and then what I had to do was I actually had to come along and put a screw in to stop its folding action. And the other bit that fails is the battery connections here. If I pull this piece, which comes out as a handheld, this battery connections here end up getting all crumpled up and fail. The other poor aspect to this cleaner is its filter style. It gets clogged up and then it stops sucking. But I think the biggest weakness in these inexpensive vacuum cleaners is the head. They tend to be poorly designed. The brush here would easily get clogged with hair and stop rotating. The wheels on it would easily get chocked up with hair as well and muck. And if the wheels aren't spinning, it's only causing a little bit more havoc for you. And I think the worst aspect from memory was this area here used to get so easily clogged. But the pricing paradox here is this cheap Aldi upright vacuum cleaner was 6 times less expensive than my beautiful Dyson DC35. What I'm going to come in and do now is clean the head on this vacuum cleaner. It's got the carbon fiber filaments. I think it was one of the first models that had that innovation. As you can see, it is well clogged with hair and stuff. I'll just turn it on and show you that it still works. It'll power on through that very easily. And I've actually had it far worse clogged than that. I'm a bit of a lazy person when it comes to cleaning cleaners, if that makes any sense. I'm sure we all are. But what I found is that you can actually use and abuse these Dysons a fair bit. Very unmanly for me to do. It's showing me how to clean the brush area there. To unplug it first, pull the brush out, blah blah blah, put it back in. Well, here's the end of the brush on my DC35. Because I'm a man, I'm lazy. Normal people would probably go and get a coin and unlock that there. But what I was doing, and this is not Dyson approved, I use the end of that attachment there, which comes with the machine, actually slot that piece in there, and I can give it a spin and I can unlock it. And sure, that hack to get into the brush area is a little bit naughty because you will end up damaging your other component of your Dyson vacuum cleaner if you keep doing that. But I'm inherently lazy, and I think people are. And normally you go and get a coin and you would open it with that, but it would be nice if Dyson incorporated a little piece of metal or something into one of their tools that came in and basically undid that for you, because Dyson are very clever people. Maybe they've got this innovation in a later model, but when you're dealing with Dyson, you're dealing with a company that looks at innovation. They look at making things very easy. I found this aspect of cleaning the brush to be to the point most people will say, oh, they look at that and they go, oh, it's almost too much trouble. You know, I'm lazy, I use that. Like I said, you'll end up damaging it if you keep doing that. But from what I can work out on the instructions, there's no indication on how to exactly open that little area there. But hey, I'm just a video maker, I'm not a vacuum cleaner designer. What's really nice about this head attachment here, it's clear. And being clear, you can start to see when it builds up with gunk. More importantly, you can see when it stops spinning. As soon as it stops spinning, you're losing your cleaning advantage. Let me just pull this out. Oh yeah, it's one hairy messed up bit of gear. Well, I had the spinning head floor attachment plugged in without the snorkel, which is a little bit unusual, but what I'll do is I'll plug in that attachment there so it'll become Dyson cleaning Dyson. Well, the first thing I'd like to do is come along and actually clean this up, try and get that back to being clean again. I'm also going to clean down here. I'm going to bring in some baby wipes and a little bit of a chopstick tool that I learned about in another country. This mysterious and highly secretive chopstick cleaning tool is just 3 chopsticks with electrical tape binding them together, and that leaves you with this sort of prongy thing at the end here that's just perfect for wheezing up baby wipes and things to come in and clean things. I don't know, you can't see it, but there's actually some dirt trapped up in there, and I push this through and it's going to leave that nice and clean. I should go make $1 million with this. Ooh, look at the gunk on those chopsticks. Yucky. And the next thing I'll do is I'll come in with some baby wipes and I'll clean in here. Remembering I'm a very lazy person, and I could come and pull this apart even further if I wanted to. But because I'm inherently lazy, I'm not going to. And let's pull it out and look at the gunk that I've pulled out of there. Ooh, that's a grubby one, isn't it? On this Dyson head, there's like a rubber squeegee, which is part of the design. That's what makes Dysons Dysons. You won't see that on the cheaper nasties. It's really important to come in and get this clean, because it's actually a very important part of the way this vacuum cleaner picks up dirt. And with a few more baby wipes, I'll just give it a general clean up. Luckily there's no hair caught around little wheels underneath that headpiece. And I'll turn it over and hey, it's starting to look like it's new again. It's a year old, this vacuum cleaner. It gets used every day in our house, but it's starting to look like a brand new one yet again. Well, after a bit of cleaning there, was actually a fair bit of dirt that came out of the head that was caught up inside the hose. And the best thing about this, Dyson cleans Dyson. Look at that. Woo! The next item in this cleaning regime is this very messed up brush. You know, most times when I'm cleaning this brush, I don't actually pull it out of the head attachment there because I'm inherently lazy. I keep telling you I'm lazy. But the only way I found to get the hair off this thing is to, as boring as it is, just basically break it and pull it off. And I think it's nearly all my daughter's hair here. If you've got girls in the house, you'll know all about hair clogging plugs and vacuum cleaners like this. Here it comes, it's all coming off. There's also other bits of fluff and, I don't know, looks like bits of string there. It's amazing what it picks up. And what is amazing is how much this can take and it doesn't stop. Whereas that silly little Aldi upright cleaner I had, it would only take a bit of hair or fluff or dust and the thing would just seize up. But the motor that powers this brush here is actually fairly powerful. And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of the effectiveness of this cleaner is this brush and the way it's been designed and the power that it's put through it when it's running. Oh yeah, this is one messed up roller, and I think I've taken it out of the head in the last year. It's probably about 4 or 5 times I've actually pulled it out to do a major clean like this. And I've got a brush that I'll finish this clean up with, and I'll show you the brush and what I do with it. Well, I've got a fairly firm bristled brush. It's like a little miniature toilet brush. That might make some of you laugh. And what I do is I basically just give it a rub like this, and it will pull a lot of the fluff which is embedded into the hair on the roller off the roller. I'm getting hair caught up there from before. And it is amazing just how much this cleaner picks up, and I think that's a surprising aspect. I think a lot of people think the stick vacuums are lightweights. I'll tell you what, the DC35 has completely changed the way I see a stick vacuum, and I'm really curious about that DC59. I think it's a 59, the bigger version of the 35. It's like the big brother. I'd be very curious to see how good that vacuum cleaner is. Mr. Dyson, can you send one out for me? I'd love you to do that if you're watching. I dare say you can't get anything unless you ask for one. But we're nearly there. You can just see the way it really does pick up on these bristles here. But it takes a bit of cleaning to do it properly. Well, I think that's good enough for this video to show you how I clean that brush. I could probably go on there for another few minutes, but what is amazing is how much fine dust has come off this brush. And if you look really carefully down on the table there, just look at all the fine dust that I can pull in there. Some big fluff there, but there's also some very fine stuff as well. That fine, scary stuff. And you know what? I've got the perfect tool to clean that up. You know what it is? It's called the Dyson. Here we go. Dyson cleans Dyson. Oh yeah. In you go. Bye-bye, fluff. And that clump of hair is actually in there. I can make it spin around like crazy. Woo! And I can come in and finish off this brush by doing this. It'll pick up all that really fine stuff. That's what this vacuum cleaner is really good for. Woohoo! I love it. Doing a nice job. And before I put the brush back into the head there, what I will check is up on the ends here. Sometimes you'll get dirt and fluff around the what do you call it, access point there, drive, I don't know, I can't think of the term of it at the moment, but I am getting the hair out of there. I've got some tweezers and we'll just defluff that area there, because hair and fluff tends to, want to get in everywhere. And there's the head I pulled out from the end of the brush. You can see that it's spun around because it's on that little shaft. Now you see it, now you don't. And now that brush is much cleaner than what it was, it's time to put it back in. Hopefully I've got it around the right way. And I'll put that end piece back on here. And I'll use a coin this time to basically lock it up. And the job is done. Well, next I'll come in and I'll clean out the dust area here. And I'll also show you the filter which is in here. But I'll talk about the problem that I've had with this machine. And it was to do with the battery. And what it was doing was I'd be going and cleaning and it would have a charged battery. And all of a sudden it would just stop. And it did this a couple of times, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird. I went onto the internet and I found that you had to basically pull the battery out and then reset it, and it would be up and running again. That's about the only problem I've had with this machine, but it's only done that weird battery problem maybe 5 or 6 times. Remembering I use it every day in my home. It's sitting on the charger all the time. That's about the only thing. And I think if you read on the internet about this, it's a fairly common problem with the removable battery type of Dyson. I'm pretty sure that by the time I'm showing you this, Dyson have addressed this problem. They know about it, but it's the only little flaw that I can pull this vacuum cleaner up on. On this machine, there's that max button at the back, which turns green when you turn it on. There's also this little green light here, and that green light there will also tell you when your battery has depleted and the state of your battery. That green light's a really important one. Any information about the max button and what the green light does is in the manual that men don't read. Oh, and now for the bit where I'm going to take the dust out of here, and this is where you're going to see the awesomeness of the Dyson, I'm hoping. I actually shot all the cleaning bits first in this video, if that makes any sense, even though it looked like I've just come back from cleaning. It was one of the first things I did, so all the dropping of this vacuum cleaner was done the first thing in the video. I was that confident I wasn't going to break this machine. That I did it first, daring as it sounds. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that nasties, eh? Nasty stuff. I think it's when you do your first clean for Dyson and you start to see the dust that comes out, and the really fine dust, the scary stuff. You think to yourself, wow, you don't see that as vividly as you do on another cleaner. The real fine dust tends to be generated in this center piece here, where the cyclones are just above it, and that's the scary stuff, that real fine dust. And it's really great. It's good for picking up. You know, there's always Band-Aid wrappings in our house on the ground. You know, as I showed before, I could just suck up all sorts of stuff. A hair tie. One of my daughter's hair ties had no trouble. Yeah, all sorts of bits of pieces, pips out of oranges. I mean, you look in there and it's like a bit of a insight into what goes on in our home. Obviously a lot of hair. You know, I think this is the thing I'm always going to be picking up, is those ends off Band-Aids. When you put a Band-Aid on, they just get littered through the house. I don't know why. But when you look at the dust there and how much it's pulled up, it's really scary. What I'll do is I'll take this canister bit off. It's the clear piece because I wanted to show you something. What I've noticed with the Dysons is around the cyclones here and this core piece is where the really fine nasty dust is generated. And if I give this a good solid tap, I'll free up some of the stuff that's trapped in there. And I mean, that is the evil stuff. Look at it coming out of there. Ooh, yucky. Now it's this stuff here, it's like the refinement of talcum powder. This is the real evil stuff. This is the stuff that causes a lot of problems if you have a person who suffers from dust in the house. And this stuff is basically dust mite poop. From watching one of Mr. Dyson's videos on his channel, it talked about how the body sheds skin. The skin becomes food for dust mites. The dust mites love to eat on that. And you know what happens next? The dust mites love to poop. That's why I'm calling that dust mite poop. So if your vacuum cleaner isn't managing stuff like this, well, I'd advise you to get a Dyson. I've watched quite a few videos about Dyson cleaners on the internet, and a lot of people, they cite this area as being the problem area when it goes wrong. That inside there can get clogged up with dust if it's not maintained. And it's funny, I can look up there myself and see that it's starting to get builds up of gunk. I can't see how to pull this part down any further to get inside here. So what I might do is basically just put a brush up here and give it a bit of a bristle up and see what comes out. I'm not sure this is the really good way to do this. Maybe there are other people who've done it. I've never done this before. And let's give it a tap now and see what comes out. Yeah, a little bit more fine stuff. I thought there'd be more than that coming out. Well, I'll tell you what, it looks a fair bit cleaner up there after putting that brush up there. That's the part that I've seen other people point out that gets clogged up. And once that area gets clogged up, you can run into all sorts of dramas. Dyson were one of the first companies to bring in clear dust collection areas. I think the DC01 was the vacuum cleaner that had that feature. It was a bit of an eye-opener for a lot of people. All of a sudden you could see what was going on, you could see the dirt and dust. But what is really clever about Dysons is the way they do their seals in their machines. If the seals aren't done right on these machines, all you end up doing is you pump dust back into your home. I've seen that with the El Cheapo Aldi cleaners that I've had, but the Dysons, well, for me, show no signs of pumping dust back into the home. And the more they suck, the more these seals work. And if we're going to look at the seal, which is at the top of the dust collection area, what I like to do is just get a brush and make sure I get all of the fluff and stuff out of there, because I want that to be nice and clean. And just back on this dust collection area, what I'm going to do is basically get some baby wipes and just give it a clean. This is the biggest clean this thing's ever had. It's a year old, and I can make it like new again, I hope. And yeah, it's been great for sucking up cockroaches and stuff. It tends not to kill spiders, this one. But you can nail a cockroach if you give it a good hard spin in there. It's been, yeah, I'd rather be sucking up insects with this than spraying insecticides through the house. That's been the great fun of having this machine around. Well, next up I'd like to split this here and show you the filter there. I'm sure there's more dust collected in that, but first up I'll come along and suck up this with my big Dyson. Okay, this might get loud. Here she comes. Whoa. Goodbye, dirties. It's a case of Dyson cleans Dyson. Okay, now I have a clean table again. It's time to get the filter out. This very important filter, and there's a button on the top here. Hopefully I can do this one-handed. I can separate that piece away there. There is the filter. This is one that you can wash, although I've never washed mine because I'm bone lazy. And we'll pull it out and take a look what's going on with this filter. Oh yeah. Well, this filter here is a really important one. Obviously I haven't been keeping it clean, but I think that's the normal sort of muck that it picks up. It's dirty on that side, and more importantly it is clean on the other side here. And that's really important, because if this filter wasn't doing its job, it would be dirty on both sides, and you would start to see dirt and dust appear behind the filter, and that's bad, because if it gets behind this filter, it gets sucked into the motor and it gets recirculated back into your house. That's what happens on cheap vacuum cleaners. But as you can see on this one, it isn't happening. If the seals fail, it would possibly start to do it, but I think Dyson do a very good design job in their seals, and I think that's one of the very important aspects that you're getting when you're buying a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Well, in the instruction book that no man reads, and I certainly didn't have a look at this, it talks about pulling this filter out, giving it a wash in water, and in hieroglyphic fashion, leaving it out in the sun for 12 hours to dry. I've never done that. I've only ever just taken this over the bin of our place and give it a good belting. I might give it a reverse suck with my other Dyson. It's got some very nasty fine dust coming out of this. But I'm not exactly sure how dirty this has got to be before it needs to be washed. Maybe someone out there, one of these, can give me a clue. Oh, it might get loud. Here we go again. I can say Dyson cleaning Dyson. I like saying that, don't I? Oh, it's coming up like new. Fancy that. I wonder what it's meant to look like when you give it a wash. Well, I've probably sent the technical people at Dyson into a spin by completely bucking the rules there, but hey, I'm a man, and hey, I'm really lazy. Dyson cleans Dyson. I love saying that in this video. I think it's time to get this filter back into the DC35. And it's got some little locator lugs on it, and I believe it goes in this way. It's a nice fit. And then it's time to marry up that piece there. It's probably got a technical name, but I don't know what it is, and basically just clip it back on. Well, I've got the machine inverted to put the dust canister back on. I think it's easier with the lid open here. And I'll put it down here. You should hear a nice firm click when it's in position. There it is. And once that's down on home, just close up the bottom bin. And I'll tell you what, this Dyson is looking almost brand spanking new. It's never been so clean. Oh yeah. Oh, she's got suction like a beauty. I should probably also plug in the spinning head doodah. There's no one there, but I can just do it like this, make sure that's working. Oh yeah! Don't put your fingers in there, ow, you'll regret it. And because I've cleaned it up, I can really see that brush in action. Oh yeah! So there you go, there is my video about the Dyson DC35. Aren't you glad I waited a year before I spoke about this product? If I just did an unboxing video and pulled it out of the box and said, oh, this thing's fantastic, well, what does it really tell you? It tells you nothing. I've had that thing for a year now. It is one of the best things that I've ever bought. It's expensive, yes, but it's well worth it. That's a lesson that I've learnt with this one. I only bought it from the curiosity, from the goodness of my larger Dyson. I'm really curious about the DC59. I think it is the big brother of this one. Ooh, it'd be a ripper if it, this is so good and so close to being like a big vacuum cleaner. I'm pretty sure that next size up would be excellent to have. Well, I'm sorry if this has turned into a long video. This is a sort of product that doesn't deserve a short video. Hopefully I've taught you some things along the way, if you've got one of these machines, or just the way I clean stuff. Maybe the best thing you learnt along the way was my 3 chopstick cleaner. Possibly the best thing I showed in the video. Hey, let's keep that a secret. Someone will probably take that and market it and sell it. Won't be me. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've lasted for the length of this video, I thank you. And I really do hope Mr. Dyson sees this video. When I was making this video, I did the drop shot of the Dyson on the floor a number of times over. I was after the beautiful drop shot, and I knew that this product was going to survive. Sometimes it would break into little component pieces, hey, but it would always snap back together. For the intro piece of the toys, they got whacked over 3 times, and hey, that was a lot of fun to do. Hopefully by showing you these outtakes, it confirms to you just how tough this machine is. Okay, that's it for this video. Bye for now.
Oh, yeah.